I'm embarrassed to tell you how long it took me to write that. But I had a good time doing it. Much more fun than the Packer fans had last night, watching Aaron Rodgers and company try and get things done. We are here. RC is there, and he is ready to go. Fired up on a football Friday, and let's take it to Lambeau Field last night. 4 days removed from the game that seemed to save their season. Could Rodgers and company make it happen? Sacho, Ninko, let's go. Final seconds, first quarter. Packers down 7-0. And I will tell you what, this is what he does. He's directing traffic. He sees he's got a free play, and Sacho, he takes advantage.
There's no one better in the world than Aaron Rodgers is making plays like these. He knows there's 12 men on the field. He gets his guys lined up. Over his career since 2008, he has over 800 yards of offense on free plays, 12 touchdowns, and he throws it to his star receiver star in the making, Christian Watson.
All he does is catch touchdowns. Extra point no good, 7-6 Tennessee. Now, a lot of frustration from Rodgers and company. The Tennessee defense giving him a hard time last night. Here he narrowly avoids a safety, so they're forced to punt deep in their own territory. And Ninko, the Titans would take advantage of the short field. Here comes Mr. Henry.
He's just too big. He's too big. Goal-to-go situations, give it to Henry.
14-6 at the half in favor of Tennessee. Third quarter, it's 14-9. Ryan Tannehill, sensational last night, Sacho.
Well, the running game wasn't working early on, and so they threw this screen pass to Derrick Henry. Obviously, you've got to get the ball in his hands, and when they did, you saw linemen blocking downfield. This is part of the 333 passing yards that he was able to get.
And he wasn't the only one passing. Oh, sneaky Derrick Henry on the jump pass.
This is the Derrick Henry effect. Look at all the defenders coming into the line of scrimmage. No. It's not a run. It's a pass. Stop, jump, up in the air, throw a touchdown pass.
Austin Hooper on the other end. Titans up 20-9. Packers looking to respond. Rodgers, Randall Cobb, 28 yards. Packers moving the change. And that sets it up one more time, Sacho. It's Rodgers. It's Watson. His 5th touchdown in 2 weeks.
Over the last 2 games, he has 8 catches. 5 of those catches have been touchdowns. Christian Watson is finally making the plays that everyone expected him to make. He's going to be dangerous.
They go for the 2 and get it. It's a 3-point game. So Ninko, it was up to the Green Bay defense, and they couldn't hold on.
Talk about threading the needle. Tannehill throwing a perfect pass. They thought it was incomplete, but no. Holds onto the football, touchdown.
Hooper, they would review it and rule it the score. His 2nd touchdown of the night, 27-17. Tannehill was terrific. Rodgers, candidly, was not trying to get back in the game. Sammy Watkins open.
These are the critical moments in critical games, and Aaron Rodgers usually makes these throws. This game, he was not.
That's a missed opportunity. Here's another on a 3rd and 3. Rodgers, Allen Lazard, wide open, and he misses him. So the Packers have to go for it on a 4th and 3. What do we think of the play call here, Ninko?
I hate it. It's a low percentage play, and you can just see the miscommunication here, the frustration on Rodgers. The whole sideline's frustrated. Story of the Packers season.
They turn it over on downs. 3 minutes to go now. Packers still down 10, trying desperately. 3rd and 19. Rodgers, Watson, they're just short of the first down marker, so they got to go for it, and it was this kind of night.
It was the story of the game. The Titans defense dominating not only Aaron Rodgers, but also Green Bay as a whole. This is a critical stop. Game over.
That was the ball game. Afterwards, frustration for the home team as the Packers drop one right on the heels of the win.
To put on a performance like that, I don't even know what to say. It was nothing like a few days ago, and that's why you're only as good as your last game.
I'm not going to make excuses about my thumb. It's been the same since New York. Didn't have the same type of consistent grip and ball coming out the same way. I threw a lot of kind of wobblers tonight. Just missed a few throws I should have had. I mean, definitely the one to Sammy and the one to Allen for sure.
All right, RC, we'll start with you. It's been a year where a lot of mornings we've sat here and talked about how the people around Aaron Rodgers haven't been getting it done. Last night, it felt like a lot of it was Rodgers, and he sort of owned it in those comments right there.
Nah, he absolutely did. I mean, in fact, Aaron Rodgers was nowhere near Ryan Tannehill. And even though Aaron late in the game had a chance to kill, that offense was truly on a chill. I'm not sure if he can get back out and get mushrooms or have to take a pill. When you think about what Aaron Rodgers was last night and the Green Bay Packers, it was kind of exactly what we asked them to be. We asked them to be a team that fought hard defensively. Now, they gave up some big plays, but they fought. We asked them to be a team to run the football, and much like Sacho said during the highlights, it was time where Aaron Rodgers in critical football moments was supposed to make plays. And I was coming on here to talk about the missed throw to Sammy Watkins on third down, to talk about the missed throw to Alan Lazard on third down in the fourth quarter, then the floater deep up the field. It wasn't even necessarily about the thumb or about the accuracy. It was that everything around you, at least from the way that they prepared to play this game, the way that they executed throughout the game, gave Aaron Rodgers the opportunity to be Aaron Rodgers when the Green Bay Packers needed Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron Rodgers, and he wasn't. And I appreciate the fact that he owned up to it. I appreciate the fact that he owned up to it after that terrible game in Detroit. But owning up to it is not fixing it. And all this time, like you said, Greeny, we've talked about what the Green Bay Packers don't have. What the Green Bay Packers didn't have last night was a good quarterback. Ryan Tannehill was absolutely phenomenal. And as good as he was, Aaron Rodgers had an opportunity to overtake him late in the game because we understand he can make those plays. He was errant on throws, he was late on his reads, and he was not the two-time reigning MVP that we are used to seeing. This loss is on Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely. And so every week, I like starting it this way. Brooke, she sits down in our meeting at 6 o'clock and immediately starts writing everything that we do. So what is the lead line of this story today? As the Packers, I guess we can't say their season really officially comes to an end last night, but it certainly feels that way, especially off the momentum of the win. What's the lead line of the story today on Rodgers and the Packers?
Well, I can tell you the first thing that I wrote down during the game last night, and that was that free play where he got the touchdown. I was like, oh, is that Aaron Rodgers? Is he back? He wasn't back, guys. I mean, it was this death rattle more than it was a breath of fresh air, a chance to go for him to go back to who he used to be. I think that there are silver linings in guys like Watson, but he doesn't have it. He didn't have it in this game, and he said before, guys, I'm a two-time MVP. You can trust me. Put it all on my back. They put it all on his back, and he couldn't carry the load. No,
last night he certainly couldn't. It's 2 out of 3 weeks he's had bad games. And Nico, you were making an observation, and we didn't see it there in the highlight, but we do have it. After one of those plays, there was frustration not only from Rodgers, but from the coach, from Matt LaFleur. And now we've seen the two of them in consecutive games look like they're just not on the same page.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw that even more in the Cowboys game. I think it was a 3rd-and-1 situation. Yeah. And they didn't convert. And Rodgers literally went off on the sideline yelling, and it was more directed towards the head coach and the play call than actually frustration in himself. And then you see in this matchup last night, there was a play where they didn't convert, and the head coach saying under his breath a certain term I can't say on air. But that frustration might boil over into your relationship side of things, the coach and the player not agreeing on maybe the play calling, not agreeing on simplifying the offense. Because think back a few weeks, maybe 6 weeks ago, when Rodgers said, well, maybe we just need to simplify things, and the head coach says, no, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And there could be a little bit of friction here moving forward, and if they continue to lose, I know Rodgers is making $50 million guaranteed. The head coach isn't. So we'll find out how that relationship works itself out.
So look, when your quarterback is named Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be the top of the conversation, and in no way am I suggesting it shouldn't be. But I will also say, and RC sort of touched on it, Sacho, the Green Bay defense, which came into this season supposed to be the strength of this team, they made Ryan Tannehill look like Dan Marino last night. And when they had an opportunity, when Rodgers brought them back within 3 points, they're letting them go right up and down the field. How about the Green Bay defense?
Well, it wasn't just Ryan Tannehill they made look great. They also made Treylon Burks look great. Treylon Burks on that last catch, remember that first down? They threw it to him. He had 7 catches, 111 yards. He looked like the dude he was replacing last game. And so that was what stood out for me. Anytime you play the Tennessee Titans, you understand you're going to have 8 in the box. You're going to try and stop Derrick Henry. That means the receivers are going to be one-on-one. If your rookie receiver is winning one-on-one, then the opponent has a major, major problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's the defense, too. RC, I'll come to you on that because we knew that there were going to be growing pains. Again, I mean, we're 11 games into their season, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it this way, as though we're still early in the process. This was a team that was supposed to ride its defense in large part, and the defense has been a major disappointment. And again, last night they got shredded.
Yeah, I mean, you think about coming into this season, or how many times on Monday morning we've laid out the ways we felt like the Green Bay Packers had to win, and that always started with dominant defense. You didn't get that last night. Ryan Tannehill was near perfect, so much so that late in the game, when you're expecting them to run the football with Derrick Henry, they go deep on Jair Alexander and convert it with Treylon Burks. And I think everything you saw last night played to exactly what Todd Downing, the offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans, wanted. He wanted to be physical up front, and he continued to stick with the run, even though Derrick Henry didn't pop many. The screen to Derrick Henry in the second half that allows them to go right down the field. And then they're just tricking off, right? They're handing the ball to Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill's looking out this way. Derrick Henry's throwing Tim Tebow jump passes. It was truly a dominant performance by the Tennessee Titans offensively. And if you are the Green Bay Packers and you've drafted first rounder after first rounder defensively on the back end, you drafted first rounder after first rounder in the linebacker position, you have to find a way to get stops. And giving up 27 points last night, giving up the deep play late, is not the way that you're supposed to be leading this team. And so I think if you are defensive coordinator Joe Barry, you have to go back in the lab and say, are we doing enough? Are we putting our guys in good enough positions? Because based on contracts, based on draft status, we have all the dudes we need to be dominant, and we just aren't. And last night, we let our team down.
That number at the bottom of your screen there, it just was replaced a moment ago, but I'll read it again. But going into the season, our analytics gave the Packers a 95% chance of making the playoffs. There it is. And the reason is we didn't believe in the division. Well, all of a sudden, here's Minnesota right now looking like a Super Bowl team. The Lions just beat this team a couple of weeks ago, and the Packers have fallen behind. So Ninko's been saying it's over for weeks. Is it over? Was last night really the final nail in the coffin, Brooke, for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers for this season?
Yes, because what tells you that they can be better than what they were last night? The Titans were a much better football team. We have to respect the Titans and what they're doing. They're not chumps here, you know. But what about the Packers is going to get better? They got a better receiver in Christian Watson. He looked good. He didn't save this season. They're not going to get OBJ. That wouldn't save the season. They're not going to add a corner. They're not going to revamp their defense. It's done.
Yeah, I think the season may be beyond saving. You mentioned Tennessee. We will remember the Titans as we go along this morning. The question is, are they a Super Bowl contender, a legit one? And the AFC will answer that. Plus, as we roll